Okay, do I hear you?
I don't know, do you?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I do. I hear you correctly.
All right. Wait. And this time I don't have to use my headset because I'm actually sitting in my one of my vehicles because it's a little chilly out. And
Okay. Let me see if I can get you on screen because we are broadcasting now. The chat room can see me, and they don't know yet until I'm about to tell them that we've been having a little bit of equipment issues, and I think we're almost there. Okay, you're in the video. You're streaming there. I haven't seen it there yet, and I'll check DVR settings. Turning DVR on. There's a few people in the chat room, so okay, that was fun.
yeah, it's definitely wasn't a dull moment.
Yeah, I had this all equipment restarted and everything fired up and ready to go an hour ago, and then once we got connected on the Zoom session, my camera wouldn't come on. So, but we could hear each other and I could see you. So I disconnected my webcam for the Zoom and plugged it back in. Then I could turn my camera on, but I couldn't hear you. So then we tried it with my phone, and that was a mess. So then I just shut down the Zoom and restarted it. We're good. So I see Darren and Catherine and Ada, Atex. Hello, everybody. Glad to see you. And here we are with Jason Laster. How's it going? What's up? Who's that handsome couple behind you?
That is actually me and my wife on our wedding day. And
Wow.
yeah, here, let me see if I can. Yeah, there, that actually works out.
Yeah.
That's one of many. I figured out how to do virtual backgrounds and a quick little story on that if you don't care. With it being Memorial Day and we're doing this session, I just thought I'd throw that background on there in memory of her falling. So just a little quick thing that I thought I'd do. So
Cool.
yep.
So actually, my first thought, you had me fooled. I thought it was a life-size poster that was mounted
Oh,
behind you.
yeah, yeah, that would actually gives me some ideas. But
Oh,
yeah,
it does. Gives you some ideas. All right. All right.
I
Yes,
love.
Aaron, I just took the watch off. Thank you. And let's see. Oh, Aaron says AVD good. So all of that is checked out. And Ada, AVD good. All right. So what's been going on with you? What do you have to tell us? Where are you at with your idea and interest in pursuing some kind of a PC support business?
All right, so this past week, I've went to several different businesses in the area, and I told them what I was wanting to do, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to, do some cable management for you, and possibly, and also clean up PCs for you, and uh, I like to start with one, and I'll do it for free for the first one, and if you happen to like it, then we could go from there. Well, and so far, no one's I ain't got any hits on that so far, but apparently they're good. I don't know, so I may hear
Okay.
back from them, I may not. So,
Okay. Okay. So now don't be shy about giving us a low number or just give us that honest truth. How many did you talk to?
about five.
That's fine.
So,
Absolutely. And can you give us an idea of what kind of businesses they were?
one of them is a loan place, it's a loan business, and two of them was realtors, uh, and I had two more that were just regular business offices.
Okay.
So
Okay. So they didn't jump at it, obviously. Now you didn't have any kind of flyer to show them or brochure or anything or any before or after pictures.
That
Would it be possible for you to do this process on a computer that you do have access to that is currently kind of messy, that doesn't look too obviously a home computer, but that you could put together a before and after kind of flyer to show them what you are offering to do?
I possibly could throw in some sort of office setting with maybe my personal computer. I can probably do something like that. So
Yeah, yeah. Or
I,
another possibility is scour the web, scour the internet for somebody else's before and after pictures. It certainly is a legitimate thing to do. Marketing does that all the time. They don't always use their own pictures to show what you're proposing to do. Now, it's quite possible that they have somebody doing their PC support and they wouldn't want to have you come in and work around the computers without that person first approving of you. Keep in mind that you don't have credentials yet. Credentials in the sense of references where you've done this before. So it's totally normal and even expected for you to get some no's right off the bat. And it is also normal in starting up any business to experience what we call the ghost town phase or crickets, where you put out an offer and you just don't get any bites on it. So then what that means is, okay, you've shown that you have the tenacity, you have the fortitude, you have the drive to go do the uncomfortable thing. I'm going to guess that it might have felt a little uncomfortable for you to go into those offices and make your pitch.
well,
Did it?
yeah, it did because well, I'm new,
Yeah.
but I didn't like take it personal. So I guess
Good.
that's a big first step, actually. I think.
Good.
Well, okay, I'll just move on. I'll
Good.
get through somehow.
Perfect idea. Now, before I try putting out any ideas along this line, have you formed any ideas in your mind about how you could make a better first impression or a better presentation? Have you spent any time just thinking that over?
Uh, Not really. Uh,
Okay, fair.
but mostly, a lot of as far as like attire goes, is everybody kind of sticks to the same thing for the most part, and that's kind of what I did. So, uh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say attire, as in your
yeah,
dress?
yes,
Okay. So
yeah.
what are you telling us as far as what you did, as far as your?
I kind of stuck with stuff that they're used to seeing, like
Okay,
or like
good.
their own, um, like what they would see as if they were high, as one of their employees. They all kind
Okay.
of stick with something. So I kind of stuck to that because they was like, oh well, this is appropriate work attire.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, kind of mimic that a little bit.
Good. Good for
So,
you. Good for
uh,
you.
I was like, kind of, that is something I thought of is maybe I ought to kind of go with something that they know that they know that they like seeing. So
Right.
they would kind of make it more believable.
It's a human thing that you're going to be comfortable with people who look like you
Right.
or who
So,
present themselves in the same
right.
in the same manner. So if you can present as they do, then yeah, that's good. So there's some comments coming up in chat. Let me point out. Catherine Anna Hauserman, thank you once again. She is asking everybody to like the video. I appreciate that. And she asks, do you have a business card or a flyer? So we did just cover that, I think maybe before she came in, that you don't have a flyer yet, but you could go peruse the internet looking for some before and after type pictures and Spend some time trying to come up with some kind of flyer so that the next time you go into businesses, you're operating at a higher level presentation than what you did. You got your feet wet this last week, which is awesome.
Right.
I can't tell you how many people will think and dream and even plan, but never actually cross the threshold of a potential customer's door. So the fact that you did that is awesome. The fact that you are not discouraged by getting no's, that's also awesome in itself. Now, I know that you're not discouraged because you're here with us today.
Yeah.
Now, you may have been disappointed, but that's different than discouraged.
Right.
Discouraged means I give up. I'm not going to try this.
Yeah, two different things. So,
Two different things. Is it fair to say you were disappointed?
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
sure.
okay. I'm obviously still living from it. No big deal.
Right. Right. So let's see what else we got here. I had some more hellos back and forth. Catherine, maybe you could, I think she's directing at me, maybe you could help one of our veteran friends with the before and after pics. You get the photos. He gets a cooler running PC. Just an idea, of course. You know what, Catherine? You're onto something there. You're onto something there, huh? Let's give that some thought, huh? And then Aaron says, you only have one chance to make a first impression. Absolutely right. And let's see, a friend of mine kind of twisted that wording around a little bit. What did he say? If only one chance I don't remember what he did. I thought it was clever though. And then Catherine, maybe you can make a polo shirt with your business name on it so it makes a good impression, like 5 of them gives a good impression. The polo shirt idea, I think has some validity to it. I mean, you can come in, it's kind of a uniform shirt, but I'd be inclined to hold off a little bit on putting money and design time into that. But that is a valid idea, because when you walk in with some kind of an identity on your shirt, and I think that's what she's referring. Yeah, polo shirt with your business name on it. That looks a little more substantial than somebody who comes in civilian clothes, because you have very little opportunity right now to show how much you have put into preparing for this. Now, for instance, another thing you could come in with is maybe a nice looking kit, a decent looking toolbox. I don't want to make it look like a construction worker's toolbox, but more of an office worker's toolbox, that you have the tools and supplies that you would use to do cleanup. Maybe even it's coming in on a wheeled cart. Now, this may take a little time to put things together. I don't want you to hold off on your next approach to a business until you get all this stuff set up, because as you start making contacts with people and knocking on doors, making your pitch, I think you're going to find some guidance and direction in those conversations. And maybe even you might develop a technique of being able to engage them a little bit in conversation before you actually make your pitch. Now, how would that go? Something along the lines of, I don't know if I'm going to come up with a good. Do you? How would it be? I'm thinking about somehow bringing up the conversation around to, do you have somebody taking care of the programming side, networking side of your computers, but need help with the cleaning and cable management and organizing the desk area for an affordable price? Okay, so there's a good point. Did you give them any hint at what your rates might be once you develop a for pay
Well,
relationship with them?
as far as rates go, is I just what I stuck with is kind of like I didn't throw a number out there. Is I just basically what I told him was like I I will do the I'll do the first one free, and then any anything after that would be at an affordable price. So I just kind of stuck with that because that just
Okay.
sounded good. So and that's really kind of to be determined
Okay.
uh, as I start getting hits on it and seeing kind of what people are willing to pay for it. So kind of see what kind of numbers they throw out and decide from there. So that's what I that's where
Okay.
I'm at.
I'm kind of thinking like you might want to have a number
So
to
okay,
to give them some kind of focus of where you're at. And since they're not going to be what not likely going to be advertising how much you charged to the community, we don't want to get you boxed into a particular number that's unreasonable. But and another piece is when you're going in to make them this pitch, what were you prepared to do if they said, yes, can you do it now? Let's just put it, okay, here's role play. You just made the pitch to me. I'm the potential customer. I said, yes, I want somebody to do that. Can you do it now?
well,
What's your
sure.
response?
Well, sure. Let me run out and get my stuff, and I'll be right back in.
So, did you have your stuff with you?
Yeah, I actually had some stuff with me. I keep I,
Okay.
my car stays loaded with stuff to work with. I got plenty of zip ties and all sorts of stuff. I mean,
All right.
I don't have anything labeled with yet, but I
All
keep
right.
going to do management with.
Okay. My experience with seeing computers under desk and the cabling situations is, and the some work that I've done, I've found it really can vary a lot as far as how much time it takes to do that for any one computer because it just depending upon how the wires go through and what links they currently have and how dirty it is. It can take a varied amount of time, but if you can start out by giving them, I'm gonna say the number might be anywhere from $25 to $40 for a computer, and that you're expecting to take anywhere from half an hour of time to an hour and a half of time with them. But I would think if you can pick a number, not give them a range like that, but pick a number and be prepared to just swallow whatever it is that you face on that first computer, it could get you started. Now, when I say the first computer, I'm saying what you're quoting them it would be if they want you to do a second computer. So that you can give them a dollar amount that it's going to be that rate for their computers. You're going to do the first one for free. Now, all of these things that I'm throwing out at you, they are ideas. They're rolling off the top of my head. You're not obligated to pick any one of them. I'm just kind of putting more clutter in your head, if I can use that technical term,
Ain't we supposed to be going the other way?
to formulate what you will do. I can't tell you what it's going to be because it's not like I have a crew of 20 people that are already doing this and that I know what you're going to face. So you have to come into a place in your mind where you can take charge of this and take the ideas and the input that's coming from me in the chat room. Let's see, another piece that came, Catherine gave a second line about that. She made the pitch about the shirt. She said, because if you wear your uniform, it's different to you present differently than when you're in a t-shirt in front of your grill. Okay. I'm guessing that you weren't wearing a t-shirt.
Uh,
Is the t-shirt the normal
well,
state of dress?
Around here, it generally is around spring and summer.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and now there's only like very few places that has like a set, dress code. They don't really have like a set dress code. They
Okay.
just
You don't need to defend your choices. You make your choices based upon what you're seeing and feel comfortable with. I just say that the when you give an impression that you are a professional caliber service in the town that you're in, that fits within the town that you're in, then that is a going to be an advantageous thing for you. So this piece about having a flyer really sounds like a good,
yeah that might
useful
be
thing for
the,
you to have. Pardon me?
that might be the bait right there.
Yeah, I kind of think so. And I haven't done any searching to find, worldwide, does somebody else actually market this as a service? In fact, I haven't heard of computer consultants that are in the line of business that I am, or probably any others that talk about doing this as a routine part of their service. I think the places where we probably see good cable management is in a corporate environment where they're all cookie cutter, all the desks are pretty much set up the same, the computers are set up the same, and the IT department came through and they have standards of how they do it, and it's very consistent throughout the office. But for small business, that just doesn't happen, at least in my experience. Here's another one. PCs might have TPM enabled by their admin. I would tell them if they cannot trust you with their business machine, you can do that for their private PC. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be a larger corporate environment that I doubt that Jason would be walking into. None of my offices have that. Okay. How easy could it be? What would we search for even? See, cable management, and Carey Holzman's channel is referring to cable management inside a custom-built computer. And then there's also, so cable management brings up various different types of coverings and things that you can put over cables and to run them through. But really what we're interested in is a service business that does this. Let's see. Before and after pictures, computer desk, organizing. Not going to spend a whole lot of time doing that, but I'm finding websites and stuff that basically looks like sites that are going to sell the materials for doing that kind of stuff. And so, have you learned anything more about PC support service businesses in your area?
Doesn't seems like someone had done some sort of cable management when it was initially set up,
Yeah.
and seen one of their computers that was their idea of keeping the cables tied together is with rubber bands, and it was just a mess behind the monitor. But that's
Okay. Did you see that in one of the offices that you went into?
I did, and
Okay.
and I almost commented on that when I was there, but didn't for some reason. I probably, looking back on it now, it's like I probably could have done something right there. Like, hey, I got a better idea for that.
Yeah, just if you could just pull it right out of your bag and
Right.
just say,
Right.
can I just put this on here right now and show you the idea of how this would look?
Right. That would have probably been the ticket. And well, there was also a long day that day, and I just didn't think about it at the
Okay, well,
time.
that's fair. Did you feel that any of the people that you talked to were kind of a little closer to being interested than others?
Uh, there's only one, the loan place that I stopped at. Actually, I think they might, if I keep talking to them, because we've done business, before. Not like, I've went in there and talked to them. I actually know one of the ladies, getting to know one of the ladies in there pretty good, so I might be
Okay.
able to,
Well,
in time, work into it like that. So,
that that is an excellent idea.
so
Um, to keep going back because it doesn't have to be a one rejection and never go back. This idea about you get one chance to make a first impression, that can work against a person if you take that to mean I have one chance to get them to say yes. No, that's not what that says at all. You can make a good first impression without getting a yes from somebody. If you go back and make a second impression and a third impression, and they kind of get to realize that this is a person that really wants to do this and is really committed to building is a business for himself, and
and
and so going back to somebody that seems just a little bit interested really could pay off.
yeah, and something how that conversation went down when I was talking to to this lady about it is, she I wasn't necessarily given a no at this
All
place,
right, all right,
and it wasn't a definite yes either.
all
So,
right,
but she told me she would run it by her boss and let me know.
all right.
So that opened the door for me to return and check on that.
Absolutely. And when you go back in, don't just go in empty-handed, but maybe each time show a different piece of maybe the wire sheathing or those rubber mats that go across the floor to hide wires, or the molding that can go across a wall that would conceal wires. Show different pieces of things that you can do for them. And do you have a vacuum cleaner or blower? Are you set up with those yet?
Uh, Not right now.
Okay,
So
that's all right. But when you get to a point where you feel comfortable acquiring that, you could walk in with that, and just thought I'd show you what piece of equipment that I use for this, and hoping that I'll get a yes from you one of these times when I walk in again. We'll let them know that you intend to keep pursuing this and try to make it happen just in a friendly way, not in a high pressure way. Uh, I don't know, maybe some other kind of small trinket or gift that you could give. I one of the let's see, Mike Smith, who's a close friend of Carey Holzman, and they do the Tech Vets show together. I don't know if you've seen Mike Smith, but at the beginning of COVID, he already had these little giveaway bottles of hand sanitizer. And so, right at the beginning of COVID, he was giving those out, and he was saying about what a big impression those made. And I don't think this is quite the right time to do that because we're kind of on the tail end, and people have all bought their big bottles, so that's not an issue anymore. But if there's some kind of little trinket, maybe even a fresh mouse pad, buy half a dozen mouse pads, and wouldn't you want like a fresh mouse pad because mouse pads get real gross.
yeah,
Uh, so let's see. There's more. TPM, and then Catherine's also saying make a mask with your business logo and phone number. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. And then for cleaning PCs below, do not suck. Sounds funny, but it's true. Well, I like both because you can open a side panel and have so much big dust bunnies. Blowing them, they just blow out everywhere. So you can use a vacuum to suck the big stuff and then blow the rest. And I've done that a lot. I don't want to just go blow. All right. So that's a lot of ideas there. I think this one client potential client that you're mentioning that sounds open to you coming back is a real good upside. And maybe after 2 or 3 times going back to them, you might feel more comfortable about going back to some of the others as well, or some other new ones. And I think every time you go and have a conversation with somebody, you'll probably become better at making your pitch. Right. In the circle of sales activities, there's a thing called an elevator pitch. Were you already familiar with that term?
I guess it keeps getting higher as you keep going with it.
No. The elevator pitch concept is how you can make a pitch of what service you can provide and the amount of time it takes to ride to a different floor in an elevator. Because you can walk into an elevator and be side by side with somebody who could be a potential client. So being able to effectively state your service offering briefly but completely is a very strong asset. There's another thing called leads clubs, or there's a variety of different names for them. I know them as leads clubs. Leads clubs is where business people will meet together once a week or once a month and share leads or tips with each other. So they get to know each other because they're all this same group meeting each time. Maybe they meet over breakfast or lunch, or in the days of COVID, a lot of those are happening by Zoom sessions. And their sole purpose for existing is to refer business to each other. I have no idea whether there's that type of organization in your town, but if you're aware of it, maybe you start asking some people, hey, are there any leads clubs around or organizations where people get involved with each other? Do you have a chamber of commerce in your town?
Honestly, I'm not sure. So.
Okay, well, that's fair. If there is, what I was getting at there, and this was a big boon to my business in the beginning days, is I got involved with the Chamber of Commerce, because that also is business people coming together for the purpose of supporting business activities in the community, and getting to know each other and what office services are offered is part of what that's all about. So it's a networking, social networking. There's another word for it. But anyway, basically people to people way of getting your service offerings known to other people, so that it's not just cold calls as you're walking into businesses the way you are. Okay, so let's see. You're not in chat right now. Catherine Anna Hauserman has been a very valuable asset on my channel and Carey Holzman's channel, and she's just really so eager to talk with you. She's a very, very helpful person. I find sometimes a little more than I'm prepared for, because it's sometimes the content that she's supplying to me feels like drinking out of a fire hose. Now, that's not to criticize at all. She puts out valid, useful stuff. but a lot of times it's after I've spent a long session doing something. So anyway, do you have a pen and paper to write down this email address?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me get it.
You know what? That doesn't I'll just copy it from chat and email it to you.
Actually, that worked out.
It would take a computer guy to figure that out, right?
Yeah, who are those?
Why was I going to read that off to you? That's silly. So I got you over here, and let's see. We had an interaction recently. Where is it? All right, search for your name. Thought that was in there more recent. And zoom. What? Why is your email not coming up here? Huh. We have been communicating by email, right? Yes. Yeah. I sent you an email last night.
Yeah.
To confirm this. From my cell phone, and it came up right away. All right, Janet. Oh, this is silly. That was the 29th.
Got on that.
To wipe, being my mentor. All right, I'll get it to you. Where did you go? I don't see you anymore. Are you still with me, Jason?
Yes.
Ah, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, I helped you with the email real quick.
Oh, did you? Did you send an email to me?
Yeah, here it is. Should be there any second.
See, I got a notice that you joined my Zoom session. There it is. Okay, good. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out where that stuff went. Okay, so I just pasted her email address, and I'm gonna type her name. The email address doesn't have her first name, which is why. Well, that's curious. Okay. Yeah, so if you would just send her an email. She's expecting to hear from you. She's very eager to interact with you. And, oh, here we go. Let's see. Catherine says there's an SBA in Tennessee, but that's not his town. That's that looks like the state of Tennessee. We need something more specific to your town. What town are you in again?
Tazewell.
Tazewell. Taswell. Pronounced Taz as in Tasmanian devil. Let's see. Dan Nielsen, did I miss something? Not worth us bringing you up to speed on. You can watch the video afterwards if you choose. And Catherine says, I'm a force to reckon with, but Jason is an ex-Marine and he is well equipped to deal with me, and I intend to be his friend, not his enemy. Okay, so she's giving me a little feedback about my fire hose comment, I guess. Catherine, we all love you. You're good. You're good. So, Jason, I think we've covered a fair amount of ground here. I know I'm going to do a little tinkering around trying to find something that could produce a flyer. Dan says he will do that to review the video. Thank you. Do you have any other questions or comments, ideas to put out before we wind down?
I have thought about, as far as the cable management goes, is when I go it's just an idea I haven't really thought I'm going to do it yet. Is when I go into some of these places, is I do have when I was putting mine together, my whole PC, is that was one thing I was real particular on, and through the whole process, I took pictures and stuff as I went with it, in case later on I had to go in and you know, maybe if something went down, I would have reference. So as to how I did, how I routed something, or the process of how I went about it, the idea I had was maybe using some of that. Uh, if some of these places was wary about me going into their PCs and just dusting them out, because I can already kind of foresee some of them being like, I don't know about letting you mess with my, you know,
Yes.
PC. Is like, well, I got pictures,
Yes.
so that.
And that also takes me circling back around to the idea is if there is any kind of a business to business marketing opportunities such as the Chamber of Commerce or Leads Clubs, any place where different service providers get together and get to know each other better, that could be really helpful because letting you get into a computer it's got some risk on their side.
Yeah.
If somebody were to someone walks in off the street and says, I want to do something on your computer, and the business people let them do that, and then afterwards it's discovered that there was something amiss about that person. They stole something or copied out data. When they tell the story later to some other business person, they're going to get chewed out up one side and down the other. How could you ever do that? How could you ever let someone you don't know get into your computer or even into your work area? So finding some ways to build up familiarity and trust is just going to be a huge benefit. And going back to them over and over, letting them get to know you, maybe even talking about what you're currently doing for a living. You're a welder, letting them know that. I'm trying to improve my circumstances, and I really enjoy computers, and be real and honest with them. And I'm trying to get into this into the computer field, and this is a way that I can get my foot in the door to gain some experience and some credibility. Now, you can't lay yourself out like that in a first contact situation, but as you keep going back over and over, that could develop. It might even develop to the point where you might feel comfortable with somebody you've gone back to a couple times. Hey, could I buy you a cup of coffee at a coffee shop and ask you some questions about what your work experience has been like and working in different offices? The pitch may be very different than that, but when I started my business, I did literally that. I found some people who had been doing the type of work I wanted to do, and I offered to buy them a lunch or a breakfast, and specifically for the purpose of asking them some questions that were pertinent to what I wanted to do. One of those people I considered being a mentor to me, and I still know him and interact with him. We've both taken different directions in our computer paths, and are involved with each other in the aviation community. We're both pilots. But anyway, that's another thought to put into your hat. Alan Barsna says, hello. Hi, Alan. So I think I'd like to go ahead and wind this down then. And
We kind of got a good foot on where we're at and some new ideas to try out, see what happens. And yeah.
I would also suggest because I've been in your shoes, not for this specific purpose, but in your shoes in the sense that you're participating in a video experience right now and a lot of things are being said, you probably should rewatch this video.
Yeah, I actually the last session we did, I actually went back and watched it several times just to
Good.
kind of remember some of the things we talked about and just kind of keep it fresh in my head of, what's going on, the whole inside of things. So,
Good.
yeah, the same thing with this one.
Well, good. I think the last thing I'll leave with you then is nothing that I have said or will say is must do directives to you. You are in charge. You take the ideas and the conversations, and it's up to you to make things happen and to decide which direction you're going to do it. There's probably going to be far more options of how you go about it than what you can actually pursue. So you take all the ideas, merge them together with your thoughts and comfort level, and find ways to push yourself just outside the border areas of your comfort level to make something happen for you, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. So some people say that you have to have this specific goal out there and create these specific steps and then follow those steps. Personally, I've never been able to pursue any objective that way. It's always been my fits better within my personality makeup to have a very solid intention and objective and directive, and take one step after the other and keep making motion towards the objective. And the path that you take to it might become a little different than what you had perceived in the beginning, because you'll discover things and learn things along the way. You'll discover reactions from people, and then you'll adjust your approach to the next person because of the reactions from that person. You'll get a different reaction. You just kind of weave your way through the experience. So that's all kind of a bunch of rambling stuff. Maybe worthwhile, maybe not, but that's for you to decide.
Yeah, it sounds like, it's just finding my way through it. So,
okay, I do encourage you to send an email off to Catherine and engage her, because she has the passion for helping people, and I think you could come up with some real good values from there. Now she's pitching an ebook. Okay, so let's go ahead and say goodbye. Do me a favor, look into the camera and say your thank yous to the chat room, and goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
well, thank you guys thank you guys, and hope to see you next time.
That works. That works. Okay.
So,
Thank you.
this is learning for me too. So,
All right, I'm taking you off camera now, and here's the email address if you want to reach out to me for anything. I hope this has been useful, and have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.